Sydney Sweeney has finally spoken out about her great genes. And she wanted y'all to know that she said what she said. And her genes is great.
Criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Now, there's a group of people applauding her for standing on business because they're saying that she should not have to apologize because there was nothing wrong with the ad. Some people even went as far as to say that there was no reference about her genes, genetics, genes with a G, in the commercial, which is weird because she specifically said this.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Now, call me stupid, but I don't know anyone whose eye color or hair color is determined by genes with a J. I don't think that parents are passing down the genes with a J. Anyway, I didn't expect anything more from her. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney said she still got great genes.
I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt. I did a jean ad. The reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was, I love jeans.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
That video was infuriating on multiple levels. Firstly, Sydney Sweeney, I'm sure that you, or someone on your team at least, would have anticipated the surprise for the ad. Also, jeans are uncontroversial. So yes, I guess jeans, or what we know of jeans as today, was popularized by Levi's. But one of Levi's earliest slogan was also incredibly racist. So in the 18th and 19th century, the strong fabric known as denim, which is also called Negro cloth, was the main material that enslaved people wore during forced labor because of its durability. And after slavery's abolition, the availability and durability of denim made it synonymous with the working class, becoming the uniform of the working man. Then in the mid-1900s, denim jeans overall were worn as a form of freedom and rebellion, also a symbol of solidarity between the working class and the sexes. Here you see Martin Luther King and Ralph Abernathy wearing jeans to march to protest segregation in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963. Art historian Carolyn Jones will also say that activists were commonly photographed wearing the poor sharecroppers blue denim overall to dramatize how little had been accomplished since the Reconstruction era. So for GQ to publish this video and say that jeans are uncontroversial, and Sydney to say that she didn't expect anything, girl, you acting as an innocent white girl who just doesn't know anything was probably the most offensive.
Interviews have genuinely lost their meaning. Because what do you mean that the whole time the interviewer is asking Sydney Sweeney about the American Eagle campaign and her thoughts on the whole genetic superiority thing, she's just giggling and laughing and blushing like this is a first date or something. Obviously, a lot of criticism has been pulled from online. People are like, she had the one chance to kind of deconstruct what happened and deconstruct these ideals, but clearly she doesn't care. And similar to what this person says, this journalist should quit honestly. She's handling her with kitty gloves on, can't even look her in the eye, and is practically blushing. She's terrible at her job. And then there's SS living up to her initials. No one said that the interviewer has to be rude or mean, but obviously asking questions about the obvious is part of the interview. People like Gayle King will stay on your ass and make sure that they get to what the interview is actually about. Most of these interviews are just like huge love fests. Maybe it's because they want to keep going up in their career. That could be one thing. Someone like Gayle King or like Wendy Williams days, they don't really care because they're already well established. But there's just something about this.
White people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority.
That's super cringy and super hard to watch.
Hi everyone, welcome to yet another video. It's Ndagiri here. Thanks for clicking on this video. So I previously shared a video of Sydney where she, was in collaboration with American Eagle about jeans, but they were talking about jeans with a G, but showing us jeans with a J. And they played in people's faces, and people were like, you know what, you're not going to play in our faces because there is no way why people are going to use a white, blonde, blue-eyed woman to talk about genes to sell us genes, because you guys are weaponizing genetics to make it seem like you guys are superior. And in this world of today, what you put out really has impacts. People called out that advert like so crazy, so much. But, Sydney kept quiet. American Eagle didn't apologize. Like, no, they acted like nothing, mattered. And now Sydney is on GQ, interview magazine or whatever, and they're asking her about that incident. And she's like, What do you mean? I don't understand what was offensive. Like, what's wrong with people? Because I'm always in jeans. I love wearing jeans. And I'm like, so why people really play in people's faces and act dumb, like they don't know what they're talking about? But this is the same person that knows and clearly states that she understands that what you put out in the world creates an impact, because what the media pushes is what people perceive. So the fact that she's pretending to not understand that she was talking about genes as in genetics instead of genes as clothes is wild to me. And people are like realizing, like, you know what? At the end of the day, she is a white woman and this is what they do. But yeah, listen to what people are saying. Come back. Let me know what you think about it.
Yep, and this is why Zendaya won't work with her now. Sydney Sweeney recently sat down with GQ for an interview where one of the topics discussed was the controversial American Eagle jeans ad. Critics argued that the ad was insensitive because it contained dog whistles of eugenics and palm-colored nationalism, and this is how Sydney responded to those claims.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
Here we go.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
This is gold. This response did not go over well with certain audiences because they feel like Sydney was purposely being smug, apathetic, and dismissive. Like, y'all are getting so mad about how she responded in this interview, and I did not expect her to answer the questions any other way. You want to know why? Because the ad was extremely successful and made her and American Eagle so much money. As of September 2025, American Eagle's stock jumped 25%, and the CEO even thanked the campaign for the boost in sales and brand awareness. The Sydney jacket and jean sold out in a blink of an eye, and you can thank all of those think pieces for that, because guess what? Controversy is profitable. So no, Sydney Sweeney was never going to address the backlash she got from that ad because it worked in her and American Eagle's favor. And y'all cannot tell me that a part of her new PR strategy is not intentionally leaning into controversies, because why was she photographed kissing Scooter Braun? The two are allegedly dating, but I think it's a PR relationship. If you don't know who Scooter Braun is, he is a notorious entertainment executive and businessman, but he does have a reputation for allegedly being a bully and having shady business practices. Like, he had a very public feud with Taylor Swift because he bought the masters to her first 6 albums without her knowing, and yeah, it was the whole thing. I say all this to say, if y'all do not care for how Sydney is moving, the best thing y'all can do is stop talking about her, stop supporting her, distance yourself completely. In fact, word on the street is that Zendaya is refusing to do any public press with Sydney Sweeney to promote the upcoming Euphoria Season 3 due to the controversies that Sydney has been involved in. Once again, all of that information is alleged, but I cannot blame Zendaya if that is true, because she got way too much going on.
I think what's really bugging me about the Sydney Sweeney GQ interview is the tendency that a lot of us white people have to act like we don't know what's going on. Like, I don't really see the issue with it. It's just jeans. I don't know what people are talking about. It would actually be so easy and simple to say, yeah, I heard the feedback. That was not my intention. That's not what I meant at all. Sorry about that. Rather than to go the route of gaslighting. Like, that's so, like, on the nose white woman. But I also don't want to do that thing where I say white woman and then it just feels like misogyny. No, it's a thing that white people do in general, where we pretend like we don't know what's going on. Like, we don't know what all of the people of color around us are saying and picking up on, and just acting like, I don't see it, so I guess it's not happening. You're crazy, actually. It also really bugs me that Sydney Sweeney is trying to present herself as an artist who is putting a lot of thought into her work and yet has nothing to say about systems of power. When asked what it felt like when the president tweeted on his fucking social media about her jeans ad, how did it feel to have that person in that position of power? How did it feel to have their support? And she said it felt surreal. And that's it? That's where you're gonna stop? And this plausible deniability thing that you want to try to claim by just saying it was surreal, which could kind of go either way technically, but it doesn't feel that way because you're choosing to be neutral on a very not neutral situation. I say this to direct this at other white people who feel inclined to say things like, I just don't know what they're talking about. I don't see it. I just don't understand. Well, maybe try to. Maybe give an effort. Because there's really only 2 options that are happening here. One, you're just not even trying to get it. You're not even trying to undergo the process of understanding what people are saying. Or two, you are intentionally gaslighting all of the people of color around you when they raise concerns, when something feels a little off. And both of those options are two different kinds of bad, but both bad.
I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt right now. I don't think that soft spot of hers has healed properly because little Miss Butt-Her-Face couldn't have sounded more tone-deaf and insensitive, to say the least. When asked about how the advertisement spread the notion that palm-colored people are more superior, she stated that when she has an issue that she wants to speak about, people will hear. Excuse me, B-word? This was her opportunity to prove that she's not a racist, and instead, she says nothing. I wonder how much Jeff Bezos is paying for her breastfeeding services, allegedly. She has certainly gotten herself wrapped up with the wrong people. Oftentimes, being on the right side of history can come with a pay cut, so perhaps her silence is more profitable than her activism. I completely understand why Zendaya reportedly doesn't want to do any press with her, and her smug Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada attitude. Who does little Miss Smoothbrain think she is? Somebody please take this hillbilly bathwater saleswoman off the map. I'm sick of her. We truly make the wrong people rich and famous. You're welcome, I love ya.
I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt.
Typically,
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
She was given an opportunity to push back, she didn't. Therefore, she's in on it. And this is in an interview in which she speaks extensively about how she uses her art to be able to pass on difficult ideas that make people think. She's not naive, she's not stupid. And this reminded me of two things that I saw recently. First, this video clip by professor and author Roxane Gay.
I think that's also why we see a lot of the voting statistics that we see in the United States around white women voting for Republicans who they know are fascist, who they know are authoritarian. It's because adjacency to power is oftentimes more important to people than freedom.
and everyone's separation.
Because maybe they'll be nice and carry me under their umbrella of power.
And they'll spare me then.
Yes, maybe they'll spare me, which they will not. You are actually going to be on the front lines of receiving their violence.
Yeah.
Now keep that in your mind. Now listen to this one from a Christian nationalist pastor.
I'll take it a step further. It is not inherently evil to own another human being. I know, just wait, some of you guys are really upset, but let's talk through this because it is very important that every Christian affirm what I just said. And not only should they affirm it, every Christian in today's society should be able to defend what I just said, okay?
Oh, this is right. And I bet your mind immediately jumped to black people because that's how we're wired, to connect slavery with black people. But he said they're the human beings. Now take a step back. Forget for an instant that the institution of slavery is still alive and kicking in the United States, and it's the base of prosperity of some of the best-known companies in the world that use low-cost labor to continue to have massive profits. Forget for a second that the supply chains that provide raw materials and manufactured goods to the West has slavery in them. Case in point, the phone that I'm recording this with. Who has been the group of people that for the last 2,000 years in Western countries and in the colonies that they settled have been in one way or another subjugated by their male counterparts, white women. What that pastor is saying is not just for us minorities, it's also for white women. Because you can tradwife all you want, but at the end of the day, you still have a framework of laws that allow you to step back from it. The white men who are pro-eugenics and pro-owning other human beings do not like that, especially because all of these men have one preoccupation in common.
I think having a black son would still totally be normal. But let's say you were the last person who could have children in your bloodline. You would throw away 10,000 years of pure blood for that?
See women as baby-making machines for the continuation of whiteness in a world in which the demographic cliff of Western countries is driving the far right to insane levels of alarm. And don't let yourselves be fooled by the propaganda from the West. In Switzerland, a Western country, women were only fully given the right to vote in all cantons in the 1990s by order of a court. So yes, a jeans advert can be that deep.
At the end of the day, guys, choosing not to say something in the current political climate says everything. If I was Sydney Sweeney and the entire internet thought that I championed eugenics, that I believed that I was a white supremacist, that I was a racist person, and an interviewer asked me point blank, like, hey, people think that you're a eugenicist. They think that you believe that white people are superior. You sit there and you go, I did a jean ad. I like jeans. When I have something to say, you'll know. It's very weird to me as a political scientist to not refute this, to not immediately say, of course I don't believe in eugenics. Of course I don't believe in white supremacy. Of course, you know, obviously there are these connotations, but like, that was not my intention putting this out. I don't know why that's so hard to say, which is why it's incredibly weird that she didn't say that. There is also the issue of the GQ interviewer who just simply did not do her job. The whole exchange was very giggly and very soft. Like, I get that it's uncomfortable asking someone, do you think you're a eugenicist? But I feel like you could have framed it as like, I'm going to give you the opportunity to clear this up now. And then it becomes a lot harder for Sydney Sweeney to like skirt around the issue. The interviewer choosing not to do that also says everything.
Listen to what people say and watch how people behave and believe your eyes and ears. Sydney Sweeney just did an interview with GQ. And during this interview, she stated very clearly what mattered to her. And she evaded what clearly did not matter to her. And I think that so often we look to seek and find depth where there is none. We look to see and seek out explanations when there aren't any. She was asked by the reporter about her feelings on the American Eagle ad, as if it was the elephant in the room that they had to really discuss. And during that time, Sydney Sweeney was very blatant about not wanting to talk about it. She was honest and forthcoming about talking about domestic violence and stating that that was important to her. She was clear on the importance of art as it relates to messaging. She's not naive to the fact that what you put out into the world has messages attached to it. She was clear. The effect of the American Eagle ad, she was clear, but she was unbothered. You need to pay attention to what people say and how they act and not pretend it is different than what you see and what you hear. She is not concerned. Race relations in the United States and subliminal messages within American Eagle ads are not a priority in the messaging of what she considers art. She understands messaging within art, just be clear on that. She understands that art can be interpreted in so many different ways, and she appreciates the various interpretations that it may have. But as it relates to this particular ad, she just loved jeans. As if to say, what is the big deal and why do people keep talking about it? At the end of the interview, or even close to the end, she even said, when pressed by the interviewer about how is it being perceived, or how are people looking at this ad, or do you realize that people are looking at it in this way? She said, when I want to talk about something, people will know it. She's not a fool. She's not a shy kid that doesn't understand the importance of art and the importance of messaging within art. She's clear. So moving forward, when people tell you where they stand, believe them. When they show you where they stand, believe them. Don't think that they're naive or that they're too young to not know what the messaging is behind what it is that they're doing. She's clear, and she's stated it blatantly for all of us to understand. She's not interested in talking about race relations in the United States, and she's definitely not interested in looking deeper into how we see the American Eagle ad. When people tell you what they believe them. And when they show you what they believe them.
I think the issue was that people don't really like when white people joke about being genetically superior. So I think that's where a lot of people's issue went. Did you want to comment on that at all? Like, set anything straight? I think that when there is an issue I want to speak on, I will speak on it. This wasn't one of them. No. Did you see me kiss my boyfriend on a rock?
As you've seen in the video, that is what people had to say. And what I actually took out is that white women at the end of the day would rather side with oppression than their freedom. Because even when it comes to like voting, they fought for Republican just because they feel like maybe they'll be part of power, but then they're not even treated that special. And at times people are like they are the biggest aggressors, but they disguise themselves as, oh, we are just women at the end of the day, like we are just like any other woman. But they weaponize their whiteness mostly. That's why we see a lot of videos of, you know, white women doing the most and literally coming out crying and tearing up like they are so innocent when they in fact are the crazy beings. I must say, I don't want to call them demons, but like, you get what I mean. They weaponize, you know, their whiteness to push out agendas, and when they are called out, it's like, oh my God, you are attacking me. Like, why are you attacking me? Like, I'm just so innocent. It's what Sweeney is doing, because she clearly knows what she stated and what she was pushing and the narrative that she was pushing. But here in the interview, she's like, oh, when I'm ready to talk about it, and I feel like if I feel that it's an issue, then I'll come and talk about it and people will hear me talk about it. So she clearly doesn't see any issue about her talking about white genetics as superior. No, because that's what she wants to, you know, put out. And clearly she believes it. Which is actually ridiculously funny. I don't know why these people are given platforms. Because, I mean, if we look into even her things that, you know, she does, it's like people always complaining every day, like, why is she in the media? Why is she given a platform? But, you know, I guess you can just be a white woman, mediocre white woman, and still have success. Like, clearly that's what it's showing. Because, yeah, that's what she is. a mediocre white woman, like people say, they just receive things on a silver platter and then weaponize their whiteness after being called out. Like, it's just so insane. I can't. Oh my God. And yeah, now people can like really believe and know that, you know, she sides with the MAGAs and that's, you know, who she is. So people should like really expect less when it comes to celebrities at times. Yeah, they have their own, you know, agendas they want to push. And if they're not ready to talk about it, like, you know, Sweeney, they will not talk about it. And yeah, some people are applauding her for standing on business. Like, yeah, don't crack up, like, don't break. Like, why are people forcing you to apologize? You didn't push any bad narrative. Which I'm like, oh wow. Oh wow. Eugenics, jeans and jeans, like people are dumb. Guys, that is it for me in today's video. Let me know what you think about this. I cannot add any more on this. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm always posting. I'll see you in another video, but at the end of the day, we all have good genes, yeah, and it's not the white genes actually that are the good genes. It is what it is. It is what it is.